Okay, I just unwrapped our fireplace, and luckily I have a little bit of experience with these. I installed one of these in our last house, but I had to take the outside wall out, cut a big opening, re-support everything, put the fireplace in from the outside to the inside. Everyone told me it couldn't be done. That was crazy. Worked out just fine. Actually, it heated that house so much, it was amazing. But I had to rig the ductwork to get to do what I wanted to do. And that wasn't as efficient as I would like it to be. So in this one, I'm hoping I can do it right. Just kind of show you how this works. So you got these air inlets at the bottom, and then there's a gap in here of about 2 to 3 inches depending on where you're at. And then inside there's all these fins, and so the fins are just a way to take the heat off the firebox, heat these fins up, just a way to radiate more heat out. So the air goes in from below. There's also a gap underneath the fireplace, so all around it it's double walled throughout the whole thing. And then your exhaust would blow out from there. There's where your chimney stack is. Another inlet down there. So it's pretty simple design. A lot of times we'll have a blower here on the front to blow as it blows in from down there. It will blow air out the top, but that just is not really needed because it's going in this room right through this opening here, and it will bake this room just with the fireplace going and not the blower. It's going to bake this room like crazy. So my vents are down here, and the hearth is where the air will get sucked in at. It will go through the fireplace, up through the top, into some ductwork. It's going to run down and then tee off into the house. I'm going to put the motor, inline motor, out here where this wire is right there. So that's the plan. I kind of wish I had him put the vents coming up from the bottom. So in our last house, I had him make it to where the vents, the suction side was pointing straight down. For some reason on this side, I had them pointing out to the sides, which limits me a little bit. I'm gonna have to kind of figure out how to make that work because I only made a 48-inch opening. By the time I add CMU block around it, I only have 3 inches to play with, and that's really not enough, I don't think. Only 1.5 inches on each side it's not gonna work. So I gotta figure out something there. But next step, probably gonna be to go ahead and cut my opening out the rest of the way and then start measuring up. Everything is gonna have to hinge on my chimney going right through the center of here. So I'm going to have to probably cut this truss, put a stiff back across here, one up inside, maybe cut that one too, just to make things easier. That way this is all opened up. Took some time just to clean up and then kind of measure some things. So I went ahead and got some boards cut and ready to go up after that tomorrow. I get the girls over to karate. I got those cut and measured to go, and then I can go ahead and take out these. I'm putting a stiff back there, and then these pieces are just going to run up along the side of the truss. So I'll be able to cut this completely out right there and have free reign to bring my pipe up. There's the center line, so my chimney will go right up through there. I don't know why when I framed this, I should have made this wider because it's kind of screwed up because 75 inches lands right here at the edge. But then on this one, 75 inches lands right here. So all I had to do was take these that are supporting the header and just move them onto the back side, and everything would have been centered perfectly. But it's not going to make that big of a deal. Well, it isn't pretty, but no one's going to see it once it's done. I did kind of cut in a little bit on some of my nails on my trusses being nailed into my wall here. So I went ahead and reinforced that with some more nails and several screws, and just kind of beefed everything up a little bit. But my time is limited. As you can see, there are some new guests making their home in here. So I've got to get this taken care of. There's another one starting right there. And these are forming all over the house right now. Wasps all over the place. I'm gonna have to wear a bee suit to get up here and work in this. But those little guys aren't gonna bother right now. I can take them out pretty quick. So the next step is going to start working on the base of the fireplace, getting that set where it needs to be, and then I gotta get my chimney, run that up, and I don't even know what I'm going to do there yet, so I'm going to have to do some head scratching for a day or two to figure this part out. Okay, so maybe wondering why I just cut a hole in my ceiling. This area above the girls' bathroom, I cut an access panel in, or I framed in an access panel, but I never actually cut it open. I always wanted to get up in here. Now that we're looking at doing spray foam on the addition, I've been researching it a lot and realized I really need to get up in here and check. So although we have the ERV vent running behind me right here, also connected to their exhaust fan, moisture can still get up in here from them taking showers and things. This being open cell foam can still get the water vapor going through it. And if it hits the outside and condenses, then I can get rot and all that fun stuff. So although I don't see anything right now, it smells fine, it looks fine, everything seems nice and dry. I am going to put a temperature and humidity sensor up here like we have in the other attic space to monitor things to make sure we're not having any wild variations in heat and humidity. In the other attic space, we really don't get, in the summertime we're usually between 50 and 60% humidity until we turn the AC units on. Once the AC units get on, and they're in the attic space, it's all open conditioned space, it actually sucks all the moisture out of there and it drops us down to, I think, around 40. And during the winter time we're usually in the 40s as well. This does not have an air conditioner space in it, so any moisture that gets into here gets trapped. And I can't just cut a hole in this line so that the ERV sucks air out, because this also is the exhaust for the bathroom. So when the girls turn the exhaust fan on, it'll just actually blow exhaust into here, which I don't want. But I want to monitor it in case we have any issues. Of course, my thought now is if this was sealed up and I just cut a big hole in it, that doesn't help things very much. I should have cut it over there outside of the bathroom. Would have been a much better idea. And I remember thinking about doing that, but I didn't. So now I cut a hole in the bathroom where all that moisture is going to come up at. Probably not the smartest idea. But I'm going to crawl around here, see if I can find any issues, and order another sensor and mount it up in here somewhere. Okay, so everything looked pretty good up there. I didn't see any, I mean, it's a little bit warmer up there, but we don't have the air conditioner or anything on right now. I didn't see any moisture, didn't feel any moisture. Of course, I'm not a humidity sensor, but it didn't feel moist there anyways. So I'll go ahead and get the bracket put in here to hold things.
You're needed.
I'm needed?
Yes.
So after I'm done being needed, I'll put the bracket in to hold things. I cut this piece out where when I drop that back down, all you're going to see is textured ceiling. So there'll be a bracket that goes around here, just 3.5 inch trim, same color as this, and that piece will fit down inside. And pretty much how it'll be, I may have to put some sort of seal around there or somehow to keep any moisture from getting up there. I hope I didn't just cause a bigger problem. One thing I did notice too is around this vent. Huh?
You're needed now.
Right now?
Yes, we have an injury.
Alright, here you go. Well, I'd say that went up pretty good. You can see the seal that I put in there. The only thing I didn't do is I'm going to put a brick on top of this, and I'll just weigh it down ever so slightly so that it really pushes down against that seal, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. You know, it's kind of nice that the ceiling piece that I cut out I could reuse. Here's the one that I put in our office. So of course that wasn't a textured piece, just a scrap piece I had sitting up there. And we did cut a new vent hole in there because in the summertime this room gets pretty toasty. It's I don't know, all of our computers and stuff are going in here. We get that afternoon sun. It gets pretty warm. So the vent that was, look up there, that vent, I basically got up in the attic, cut it off and repositioned it so we have two vents blowing in the office in here now. Heat's not an issue. It's just air conditioning in the summertime. But that's been on my list to do for quite a while now. So glad I got that taken care of. As one lazy goat.
Yeah, he is so chill. Hi, buddy. I think he's kind of got rocks.
Huh?
I think he's got rocks and things.
Brother Bear is just not having it, are you? You're done. So we blunted their horns, shaved the horns off, gave him his shot for mites, and trimmed his hooves. So you can see the horn there is shaved off. He's good to go for another couple weeks, so we got to do it all over again. This guy's hilarious. We also banded their nuts a while ago, so you can see
They're getting close to, they're all shriveled up, but they're getting close to falling off.
Yeah, this guy had some monster nads. They were huge.
Yes. Well, you're not wrong, but don't sing in front of him.
They're not huge anymore.
Don't sing in front of him. See, it's funny because his mama, she's the one we have to like lay on with. We have to have 3 people with his mom. But she was, when we had her as a baby, she was not like this. He's so chill. Can you get in position?
Should probably get a helmet for Sydney when we do this.
Yeah.
Get clocked in the head a little bit ago.
Well, but she was just
gladiator helmet.
I know, but you're letting them down though. Yes, I know.
Goat maintenance.
It is.
Getting ready for prom.
Yeah. Without the girls. Without the cute chicks. Can't have those. Can't tell if I'm getting close.